Yeah, I'm gonna turn it on, but it's a little loud, so here's your little audio warning. Set that to like a neutral 0-0. Oh, my bad. We're gonna watch this on Twitch, since I'm still here from the last video we did. Okay.
Welcome to the Guerrilla Collective, a 3-day digital festival of game announcements, trailers, and demos streamed straight to you. Please welcome your host, Game Awards trending gamer, Greg Miller.
Welcome back to the final day of the Guerrilla Collective. For the last 2 days, we've been showing you brand new games, debuting trailers, and even releasing titles on the spot. But today's my favorite day, honestly. Today, the developers are going to speak directly to you about their projects in a laid-back live stream. You, of course, hang out in the chat, they show you their cool games, and we all get to find our next favorite title. Sound good? Then, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. This is your final day of the Guerrilla Collective. Alex, Justin, take it away.
What is happening, everybody? Welcome to the Guerrilla Collective, Day 3. It has been an amazing experience the last 2 days. We are showing over 80 games. We got 7 games today that we're going to be showcasing.
7.
And a little bit about me. I am the co-founder of the Media Indie Exchange, The Mix. I helped to produce the Guerrilla Collective along with some of the most amazing producers. Publishers and developers from around the world. I'm also a game developer and that type of thing, and I'm going to chop it up with you guys. And sitting next to me is the amazing...
Alex Wilmer. Thank you. I'm Alex Wilmer. I co-founded an audio production company here in Berkeley. We also have studios in South Korea and in Ireland. And we work around the clock on video games, animated cartoon series, film, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and we're here in Wilmer Sound. Just a little bit about the Guerrilla Collective, like I was saying. Due to the lack of E3, we were like, let's get together, the Mix, and a bunch of publishers and developers, and let's do this thing ourselves independently. So what you see around here, we basically built up a studio within his studio to make this happen, and we've been grinding to make this happen along with the developers here. So this is going to be a really cool experience. We have, like I said, 7 games coming up, and last week we did the Black Voices in Gaming stream, which is amazing, and it's just been crazy, as everyone knows, with COVID, Black Lives Matter, all those things happening. We do have a charity. If you could pop the charity up, you can... Those are our sponsors, but it's all good. So we do have a charity that you could donate through Tiltify, the NAACP, UNICEF, and Gameheads. If you want to donate, anything that you put forth for that is very, very helpful. So the next couple hours, we'll be showing you games, chat with teams, learn more about these games. Amazing creators, like some of them I'm a fanboy for. I bet you guys are too. And check out the chat because they are in the chat, even though you guys are clowning, folks. The cylinder is coming towards the end of the show, guys. But let's roll over to our first trailer and get right into it. This is Iron Harvest.
Peggy 18.
We were all busy with our own small lives. Didn't know what went on in secret. Didn't see the war coming. They said the war would be won within months. An adventure, promising pride and honor. In the end, it would be 5 years. Years of torment and horror, like the world had never seen before. The Great War, that was supposed to end all wars, is over. While in secret, the seed is sown for the next war. But this time, we're vigilant, and we'll fight.
game he still does not like. Iron Harvest. Okay.
And that was the dope trailer for Iron Harvest. We got Tobias
As
on the
opposed to all these
line,
other non-dope trailers,
talking about the game. We're going to be playing the game. This dude is going to be driving. Hey, what's up? How's it going?
Hey, thank you for having me, guys.
You got like you look really crispy right now. The beard is exquisite. By the way, yeah,
on point.
Oh, nice. So yeah, we were playing through the game the other day, the demo, and the game is really interesting. I mean, did you guys have a Kickstarter back in the a while ago?
Yes, that's right. Everything started with the Kickstarter. It was in 2019, if I remember correctly. And yeah, so that's a Kickstarter project. And now, 2 years after, we are right in front of releasing the game. So we're super excited about that.
That's dope. Because I remember when I was actually, I don't know if you heard about Fig, but I actually was publishing at Fig, and I was like looking through games.
They're actually doing live conversations.
I was like, oh my god, this is so awesome. You had such great artwork and animatics and that type of stuff that you were showcasing. I was like, I can't wait for this game to come out. And then when I saw that you guys you're pushing your game for to showcasing the Guerrilla Collective,
you mean what's
oh
this
my
event
God,
about, or what's going on with me personally?
Right now, so let's switch. Alex is going to be playing. It's so interesting that you guys chose to start with this kind of tutorial where you're actually little kids. I was like, this is fascinating and amazing.
Yes, exactly.
So funny when he
the
highlights
game, for those who don't know, it's an RTS, right? So a real-time strategy game. But here in this tutorial, we somehow need to teach the people how the mechanics work, right? So we thought it's a pretty cool way
the Guerrilla
to make
Collective.
it's
been going on for the last 3 days.
Slow
This
fight
is the last
scene,
day.
because not only does it
It's
give you
just
the
like E3 for indie games.
like
It's basically E3
basics
week,
of the game, but
and
it
everyone's
also
doing
gives you
their own
some
thing.
background
So we got
story of
the Guerrilla
the main characters of
Collective,
the game. Because this young lady
Summer of
there is
Games,
Anna,
Future
who's the hero
something,
for the
and
Polania
stuff.
faction.
I did a video a few
and
minutes
it
ago
gives
about a
the
new Star
characters
Wars
actually
game
way
that just got
more
revealed.
Substance.
You can
I'd
watch
say.
that here on the Twitch or on my
for
YouTube channel also.
It's always good to have like an organic
if you want to
feel
see
when
like
you're
a
doing
live
that,
reaction
as
to
opposed
that,
to
and
just
there's a little
being
bit of
like
Q&A, but the
really
audio wasn't too
stiff,
good
like
for
you have to
their
read a
end,
bunch
so,
of texts, a bunch of text, but
And yeah,
What
so
was
there's gonna be
your-
7 games.
go
This is
ahead.
the first game. There's 6 more.
No, press
And there's
A
been a
and
bunch
D
of other
to
games
move the
before,
camera
obviously,
and
the
stuff.
last 2
So
days.
here it's like a little bit more
It's kind of interesting,
gamification, right?
Because it's all
Yeah,
indie
that's the
games
word,
here,
I
so
guess.
nothing AAA.
Yeah.
You know, maybe some indie games you'd like. Or
So what was your
could be
what was
here.
the inspiration behind Iron Harvest?
That's not knowing me personally.
So the biggest gameplay-wise, the biggest inspiration are games like Company of Heroes, Dawn of War, and Warcraft 3. So it's more this classical
game
RTS,
audio,
and
huh?
like
Are these
gameplay-wise,
kids?
the closest is probably Company of Heroes. If you
Are these
remember
literal
that
children?
game where you have to take
Yeah,
cover,
yeah.
you cannot just simply send your troops to the front line. You have to protect them and keep them alive because they're very precious and very expensive. So it's a very tactical and strategic RTS actually.
Interesting, because like he
And
showed
from
earlier
the
that they were like giant
world
mecha
and the
stuff.
design, it's
But right now
inspired
it's just kids throwing
by
kids throwing
Jakub
rocks at each other.
Bujalski, which is
There were
a
robots
Polish
shooting
artist and his
cannons and
artwork.
mortars and
And
like
he actually
spider crab
created
mortar
this
bombs.
1920
And now
plus
we're looking at them
universe
throw
that's
fucking
also in
rocks
the
at each
name
other.
Iron Harvest.
Like,
There's
what
like
the
a
hell?
subtitle 1920 plus.
This army
That's
is
the name
so
of the
poor.
universe, and in this
How will
universe
we
you
ever
have an
afford our giant
alternative
mechas of war?
post World War One, where the people instead of tanks were using giant mechs actually to fight, and we call this era the diesel punk era. So
I would
steampunk is
consider
a
a
little bit
mecha a huge
earlier,
upgrade from fighting literal
cyberpunk
rocks.
later, and this 1900s is the diesel punk era, and that's where we are playing, and this is
heard that word
where
in a while, diesel punk.
where's everything based on.
That's super interesting. So
Mhm.
yeah. So what role do you play on the team? Just curious.
Commander.
Excuse me, come again?
What do you do on the team? I'm just curious.
Yeah, so I'm Toby. I'm the PR manager for this game. So I'm the one who's showing his beard into the camera and tell you how great the game is. But actually, yeah, I'm taking the game. I'm traveling the world with it, and I'm trying to show it to the people. And actually, that's what we did since the Kickstarter campaign, showing the game and collecting feedback. And that's what we are also doing right now. There's a closed beta for Iron Harvest, but the big announcement, if I can say it like that, from tomorrow there will be a demo on Steam, so everyone can try at least a little bit of Iron Harvest before it actually releases. And that's important for us because we are collecting feedback and try to implement as much as possible into the game.
There's a multiplayer component where you're fighting against your friends and that type of thing.
Very right. So in this RTS, of course, there's a big campaign. That's the part which is inspired by Warcraft 3, so with the hero units and the deep single-player campaign. So there will be planned right now 21 missions for the single-player campaign. But of course, as you said, there's also a multiplayer, which I like a bit more than the single-player, but just me personally, because I believe that having this huge mech fight, stomping through buildings, outrunning your opponent, outsmarting your friend, is even more interesting than fighting AI. But that's just me. So if you are more into the single-player part, then go ahead.
He got defeated. What can you tell
us in the tutorial?
In the tutorial with snowballs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Well,
no diesel.
No diesel, but hard ice. You can try a skirmish battle if you want, because then you can see more than just throwing ice.
Yeah.
And then if you're quick enough, you will be even able to build some mechs and show the people how the. Hey, someone in the chat is writing Snowpunk. Yeah, Snowpunk. That's the tutorial. Dope. Exactly.
That's dope.
That's really dope.
Can you tell us a little bit about the story while we?
You want to pellet a mech? You gotta pellet a rock into that guy's face first.
Of course. So the story is, well, in this 1920 plus universe, there's 3 factions. There's more factions, but in the game there's 3 factions. We have Polania, which is something like alternative Poland. Rusviet, something like alternative Russia. And Saxony, which is something like alternative Germany, and they are fighting each other in Iron Harvest. So, and the idea is that, I don't want to spoil too much about the single player, of course, but the idea is that there is some kind of super weapon somehow someone has it, everyone wants it, and all the campaigns are actually trying to get to this point. Who gets the weapon? Who will take charge? Who will be the powerful source in the end of the game? And that's like a big overview of the campaign. But of course, for every campaign, for each faction, we have 7 missions. So you will see the different angles on the game and the different parts of the game from different views, and eventually find out that who seems bad isn't that bad, and so on. So there's some plot twists and stuff, and the missions should be as unique as possible.
Cool. You're gonna have to run us through this as he starts getting things moving.
So first of all, exactly. So that's the Company of Heroes style gameplay, where you have if you think of a Command Conquer or something, you have to collect your Tiberium. Here you have to conquer those iron mines and oil pumps, and they will then over time generate some resources for you. So the big idea is it's something like moving the front line back and forth all the time. You have to recapture resource points. They will generate something, but the opponent can take them from you at every moment, and so on. The 2 units you have right now is regular riflemen and engineers. Those engineers with the these ones exactly. They are building base. They're pretty much building your base. So if you push H or put on the building. Push the building button on the bottom right when you click the engineer, then you can build some buildings like barracks and a workshop in your base. And as I said, it's moving the front line back and forth. So on the minimap on the left side, you can see how the opponent is slowly conquering resource points and those flags there. And it's a bit like capture the flag. So if the opponent takes them, then there's a counter, which you can see on the top, the winning points, victory points, which I personally don't like. I'm for the annihilation fighting the opponent till the end. But yeah, sneaky win with victory points is of course also possible.
There's no snowballs here.
If you,
That's somewhat interesting.
no
So it's not
snowballs.
just battle,
If
it's
you,
like
if you,
I'm attacking
resources and stuff. It's prepping for the next
running
battle.
away?
It's
Yes,
the
exactly.
war,
You
not
can-
the battle.
They saw you probably, or they took the oil pump and now they're getting something different. So on the map you have the oil pump, you have crates. In those crates there can be weapons, there can be resources, there can be, there's field gun, for example, weapons lying around, and you can adapt
this
on the
guy's asking
battlefield
for
while
poggers
playing
and
the
shit.
game. And the coolest thing, I believe, is not only the covering system, that you have to take cover when you're attacking someone, but when you have a mech or something, then you can walk through buildings and just ignore all the cover because they're way too big and will just stomp
The
through.
battle stuff.
That's awesome.
I would heavily recommend to start building a base, because you took all your units, especially the engineers who is not good at shooting,
Oh, is he playing the game with his man?
and you took them to this house. Yes, the house button. If you click on the house
They're
button,
both looking really
you
hard
can
at
build,
it.
for example,
Right
barracks,
now.
barracks or workshop, and put it in the base. It's the thing you neglected in the very first moment. Yeah.
Tobias is going in on Alex.
Learning is fun,
Yeah.
although
I mean,
painful.
it's as always, you have to get the basics, and that's why the snowball, that's what the snowball
It is cool that we're getting a lot of
tutorial
gameplay
was
now.
trying to teach you, that of course how to move on the
didn't think it
battlefield,
was live
but
until
also
just
how
now.
to build your base and take care of it.
My barracks is
So
under
it's getting.
attack. Oh,
By the way, I'm trying to right now talk to you via my cell phone, and I'm using mobile data. So if anything happens, then
Yeah.
just so you know.
Wow.
Figured out.
it's all good.
It's good.
But it seems to work,
Is he
so
talking
I
over
have my
mobile?
makeshift
Is it,
streaming.
Mobile
No,
device?
your
Or you use
stream is
Wi-Fi mobile
amazing,
chat?
by the way. When we
Sponsor.
saw your
Okay.
camera, it's like better than like 90% of other, you know what I mean?
Or just
It's
call
super
normal with cell phone.
pristine.
Well, then
Thank
he
you,
might
cell
have
phone
long-distance
manufacturer.
I feel like I have lost all my units
I-
and my base.
So you were learning the hard way. How about we start again, and you use one of those units you have there, the rifleman, to capture resource points, and the other one, the engineers, to immediately start to build something, and then
Okay.
you send out the engineers as well.
So I'll
So
restart.
let's
this-
restart.
Okay.
Yeah. For instance. Are you sure you want to restart? Yes, sir.
Yes,
So-
you definitely do.
You sure am.
How much time do they
Of
have
course-
that they could
of
literally
course,
restart
it's,
and replay the same game?
The base building is just, well,
Is this gonna be like
the focus
2
is not on the
hours
base
and, like,
building. You need a
half an
base
hour
to
for
be
each
able
game or
to
something?
build units. Of course, that's where you get your
wouldn't exactly-
mechs and your soldiers.
be like
However,
that.
the focus on the game will always be on the front line of the battlefield. So what actually
And if they were gonna
happens
do
is
a
that
live
you're
demo, I
trying to
would've saved it
protect
for
your
last.
resource points at all times.
This is
You're
still the
trying
first game
to
of 7, right?
push the enemy back and so
And then,
on.
like, blank out and
what's
forget
really
something they
interesting,
showed earlier,
maybe
right?
you saw it when your units died. Whenever you kill a human unit, they will drop their weapons.
Cool.
So let's say
cool.
you are killing, I don't know, a flamethrower unit, then you can tell your engineers to pick up the flamethrowers and they upgrade to become flamethrower units. So potentially
But
weak
flamethrowers
unit
are
becomes a
somewhat weak at
potentially
range.
very strong unit. However,
Oh, I
you
don't
then
want that.
lose the engineers and
Unless it
become
actually
flamethrower.
burns.
So this gives you a lot of independence and
There it is.
flexibility on the battlefield, which is pretty cool. So let's say the opponent is attacking you with tanks or something, and you really need to get some cannons quickly to get them down, anti-tank cannons. Then just try to pick up cannons if you're lucky
Oh, we're
enough
only
to find
30
them
minutes in.
somewhere.
Jesus Louises.
So
No, we're not.
So
we have to
Oh,
collect.
into the video
We have to
itself,
push
but
for
the
more
video had a
resources.
timer
So
at the
you can
beginning, I'm
either
sure.
pick up the crates lying around. You can see them
yeah,
on the
mods
map.
would be
There,
cool for this
those white boxes. Those are
I kind of just feels like a general
weapon
statement.
crates or
Mods would be
resource
cool.
crates.
I see.
or
Period.
yeah, exactly
Oh, that's
those
cool.
ones. And if it's a weapon crate, so inside there will be a weapon, but there's also oil crates and iron crates. And if
Yeah, harvest those
if
iron
you
crates. That's why it's the iron harvest.
go to the resource points, then you can capture them as well. In your HQ, the only building you have currently, you can also build basic units. So you could build another engineer, for example, so you have 3 units instead of 2. What is very important for you, I guess, is the retreat button. So once one of your units, no, you're laughing, but actually it really helps you to survive, because in same as in Company of Heroes, you cannot afford to rebuild so many units, so you need to keep them alive. Exactly, you push it. Perfect. You just push the R button or the button on the bottom right, and
nice.
they will get a hit point bonus, and they're running back to their HQ where you can repair them or heal them.
Okay.
So once they arrive at your HQ, they will lose this small arrow on the head, and if you push R again, you will replenish the unit. Okay. R or the top left button.
So Tobias, when is the release?
The release is on the this joke only works in Europe. However, the game is called Iron Harvest 1920 plus 1920, which is the 1st of September 2020.
Okay, nice.
Only works in Europe though. So it's in a few weeks, in a few months. There's the Iron Harvest is releasing, but. And that's a very important and very cool part. From tomorrow, you can get your demo on Steam for free, so you can try it for several days. So it's from June 16th to June 22nd. You can try it, give your feedback, and try to stay alive a bit longer.
Definitely be practicing. The game is awesome. It's very gorgeous. I love playing the beginning part of it. I'm definitely going to be playing it. You can wishlist it now.
Exactly. So go Steam, Epic, whatever shop you like, go there and you can wishlist it and try it if you go to Steam.
Thank you so much, Tobias. It was amazing having you.
Thank you very much for the invitation. It was great.
Yeah, for sure. All right. That was Iron Harvest, King Art Games, Tobias. The game is really fun. It's cool. It obviously takes a minute to really get into. It's an RTS, but the game is...
Yeah, there's a lot of strategy in that game, which is really cool. It's amazing to see, the dynamic cover too. The way that you go behind the cover and they automatically, take cover and stuff. It's really cool. It's the kind of thing you need plenty of time to kind of figure out, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's the kind of thing that I would lose many hours playing for sure.
Okay, so up next we have Say No More, Marius Winter. Roll the trailer, sir.
What is that? He's using a mouse and keyboard. There are controllers. I guess they're gonna play more demos live. Technical difficulties.
Hey, you! Did you just start your internship?
Welcome, intern.
And we're destroyed by your coworkers!
Make me coffee.
Copy these papers.
Bad hair day alert.
Your supervisor probably just stole your lunch!
Thanks, intern.
And the problem is, you are too shy to say something!
I don't see coffee.
But don't worry, all you need is just one word. It's the word no!
No! Whoa!
You work late today. No!
Whoa! Be nice to our supervisor.
Clean the coffee maker.
No!
Go, buddy.
No! Yes! You learned well!
Big legs.
No.
Hey, keep it down.
Hey, let's go. Okay, you can.
No!
Wait, are you alternating between the
What is this madness? Your outfit is bad. Oh, you're being weird. Stop clapping. Hey, what are you doing?
No!
I was just projecting.
That was Say No More. This game looks really hilarious. We got Marius on the line.
Oh, hey.
How's it
Hello.
going?
I'm good.
No more.
Thank you.
Much
Can
more.
you hear me?
Yeah.
1 2 1 2. Awesome.
Did you play one of the voices for the game?
I did.
Did you also outfit design
These were
for
all
this game?
placeholder voices by me. Yes.
Oh, okay. Because the game is super hilarious. By the way,
it's more like a
I
wacky guy
kept
at a
playing it
party
over and
kind of
over
dress.
again the other day. It reminds me of old school PS1 games, which may be like what your influence is. But there's one in particular called Incredible Crisis that I used to love, and like I would just keep playing through that game. And this is like dead on. I'm like, when I saw this game, I think I saw it a while ago. You guys were gonna show it at the Mix GDC or something like that, and I was like, oh my god, we gotta check this game out. So we finally got our hands on it. Alex is gonna play through it. It's hilarious. You have to talk about like how you came up with this idea.
Thank you so much. Yeah, very cool. If you look at our inspiration document, Incredible Crisis is one of the games that inspired this game. Also, Muscle March on the Wii was also a big inspiration.
Muscle March? I'm writing that down.
Oh, Muscle March is amazing. You all have to Google it now. But it's it's an old Wii game. I don't know if you can play it anymore, but anyway, this is more in terms of the art style and humor what inspires this game, but the original inspiration came, so my friend Nick and I, we both came up with this game, and we both are game designers at Studio Fitspin, and we know each other since kindergarten. So we grew up together and played games together.
That's cool.
And humor. And a couple years ago we were playing around with Unity and making weird prototypes. And one thing that we want to have in video games that we rarely get is, imagine in games where you can jump and there's an NPC, and if you jump in front of the NPC, just jumping around, they don't react to that. And we want games where they are like, why are you jumping around? This is not normal. What are you doing? Like these are games that we want. And so we made a little game in an office environment where people talk to you and you can only answer, there are 4 things you can say. You can say yes, no, maybe, or interesting. What do you think? And they always react to whatever you say.
Yeah,
and then you can imagine that. Sorry, go on.
Oh no, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Okay, you can imagine the most fun part was to say no to everyone without context, just always saying. And so we figured, let's just throw away all the other things. Let's just focus on no. Isn't that hilarious?
Yeah. Where are you guys from?
We are from Germany. We are from Aschaffenburg.
Oh, okay. Cool. That's awesome. The social interaction aspect of it is really, really interesting, and I like how you layered it. Like, at first you can't say anything, and then you get this motivational, and you'll see it, I'm spoiling everything, but
that's okay.
You get like this motivational speaker telling you to say no, and then you get this motivational speaker telling you how to laugh in someone's face, like to startle them or mess with their mind, and just those layers and the interaction and the body language and that type of thing is very fresh. It's interesting.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's what also came after. So when we knew, like, let's make a fun little game about just saying no, we also only then noticed, like, hey, wait a minute, we both are scared of saying no as well. Like, it's hard. We would rather say yes in a lot of situations than no, and we noticed, like, oh, this makes so much sense that we want to make this game. We want to be better at saying no.
I think it's scary to say yes.
And it's not like that
we
didn't have bad internships or something like that.
No, we had no bad
internships. Just the setting
yes,
of this
none.
game.
Yeah.
But a lot about the game is just about, things where you would. I personally think, for example, if I get invited to a party of a good friend and I just don't want to go, but I still go.
Yes.
Because I don't want to because I feel like a bad friend if I say no.
Yes.
And so this game is about this.
I think a lot of us have that trouble, especially if you're like creative, or you know what I mean? Like anytime someone asks me to do something, I want to take on the challenge personally. So it's like, I don't know. It's interesting. This is the part of,
I know what you mean.
Yeah. This is the part I'm talking about though. The motivational speaker.
Are they demoing this too? Because his hand is on the mouse from what I can see.
No.
No. Right on this jerk. No. Whoa, not bad. You can also say no in a different way. Swap to a cold no by pressing this button. To swap back to a heated no, press this.
No.
Hit doors for the no you prefer. The choice is yours.
No.
Now show this meanie what you got.
That's hilarious.
Listen, I know it's outrageous to say no these days, but if you don't use it,
It's a nice commentary on the
lunch
world, I guess.
stealers will always win.
Lunch stealers.
Do you want that?
No.
Exactly, no! But wait, there's more. Before destroying jerks with a juicy no, confuse them like heck by
Juicy.
laughing at them.
I love this
Hold
part.
this button to laugh at this dude.
Hold down and laugh.
Or you can clap at them with this button. The choice is yours.
I feel awkward.
Know him.
Destroying them with power.
Laughing idiots.
And buttering them up with other things.
Make them feel weird. I like it.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. I like games where I can irritate NPCs.
Yeah.
So just doing a slow clap.
Just subscribe to my channel.
I like saying no to this jerk.
No. Whoa. I need some. No.
Did you see my new lunchbox?
No.
Excuse me? What did you say? What?
He busted a combo on his face.
You are just an intern. Fire that intern supervisor. No.
Rapid fire. The dude was hiding. Okay. I was
Oh,
like, the
no.
dude was like hiding in the bushes.
Literally hiding in the
Planter.
Sometimes they're nice people, and you could get a reward if you don't say anything.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting.
I was just rapid firing no everywhere. Try to find a nice person.
This game supports spamming the space bar. Definitely.
Clap him.
Okay, that's it.
Oh, you got blasted, son.
Yes.
Nani?
Lunch stealers.
Flip the tape. Flip the tape.
You must do it.
More lessons. What happened? Did you got crossed by a jerk who won't listen to you, no? What a bunch. But don't worry, I'm here to teach you a new kind of no.
When is this game being released?
No.
And like on what platform?
Charge. No.
Later this year.
Okay.
And I always joke about like in Iron Harvest. I also have a joke for the release. I hope we can release in November 9.
Wow.
Because 9 in German is also no.
That is amazing.
That release date would be
amazing.
yes.
I would go so far if we miss that date, we just wait a year for next November 9,
Yeah,
2021.
That's so good.
Or maybe not, I don't know. But officially,
That's
no,
what
we
you
don't
don't
have
know.
a exact date yet, but later this year.
Is there gonna be a demo out for this for people to play? Or not yet?
Yeah, there's also a demo on Steam.
Okay.
On the Steam Game Fest. So.
Oh, cool. Yeah, shout out to Valve for working with the Guerrilla Collective and all the devs for to get our games up.
I don't know why you're saying the dialogue is temp. I would keep this.
It's solid, and this is coming
Thank you
from
so much. No.
like a VO expert. Like this is a sound studio.
Thank you so much. I actually will voice a lot of characters, but we casted a couple more actors, so there's more variety.
The dialogue is hilarious. And so, did you write all the dialogue?
I wrote it together with Brandon Gibbons.
Oh, okay.
So we basically, this was also There's like this was one of the technical challenges, like having building the tools for us to put in a lot of the creative choices.
Yeah.
And yeah, we basically in each level we just write in a big sheet. We just write the jokes
That's
from top
great.
to bottom, and it was just you just write them and then they are in, and this was. Yeah, it was a really fun experience writing the jokes because it was a lot of elements in this game is just like, here's a funny thought, I write it down and it's done. There are a lot of things where we don't think too much about them, and if they make us laugh from the game, then we keep in the silly stuff. Because there's a lot of encounters you have in this game. This is just the first of 8 levels.
Oh, cool.
Well, we are not going to spoil the end of this demo for everybody. It's so this game is so amazing. Everybody wishlist it and check out the game soon. 9. But yeah, thank you so much, Maris. Where can they follow the game and where can they check everything out?
We now have a Twitter account since today. It's at saynomore_game, and also our webpage is saynomore.re. And yeah, this is this is where you get the news and all the news.
Oh, the
yeah,
cool.
I didn't practice this.
You were waiting.
I see myself on the screen, like.
You should have just told me no. You know. But yeah, thanks so much. The game is like really refreshing. You know, to see something like brand spanking new and different. Keep making these type of games. I think we need to celebrate this kind of ingenuity and interesting kind of design. So yeah.
Very cool.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Bye.
Say no more.
Say no more, Justin.
Okay, I definitely won't. That game is freaking hilarious. It's definitely up my alley. What we have next is Tanya Short with Boyfriend Dungeon.
Did we ever see Boyfriend Dungeon like the first day?
Please.
I guess we're just getting a gameplay demo. I was expecting new stuff for this day. But nice content. You want a different character now? I thought it was boyfriend. Oh yeah, there was one girl in Boyfriend Dungeon that we saw. Love your love.
That was the amazing trailer for Boyfriend Dungeon, the highly anticipated game from Kit Fox Games. And we have Tanya chilling out with us.
Hello.
Cool.
How's it going?
A normal person.
It's all right, you know, it's a Monday and there's super cool indie games being shown by Guerrilla and Steam, so it's a good day.
Yeah, it's a great day. Thanks for hopping on. The game looks amazing, by the way. I know a lot of people are anticipating it. And we're
we've gotten a lot of wish lists, a lot of attention, and it's a shame we can't, go to conventions anymore. But I'm glad that there's events like this so people can still find out about it
arguably better than a convention.
and see what they like. And this demo has never been shown outside of a convention floor, so this is pretty nerve-wracking, but also exciting.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. I remember like when we were working with you guys to showcase it last year. We were trying to get you on the stream, and you were like, not yet. So it's cool to actually be able to showcase it. So tell us a bit about the game.
So it's a dating sim / dungeon crawler, and you alternate between the two parts of the game. You spend a lot of time in the dungeon, and in that dungeon you find treasure, and you fight monsters, and you find
But can you
weapons,
find love in a dungeon?
And then those weapons become beautiful people, and if you want to get more skilled with that weapon and find new abilities, then you gotta date them. You could also just be friends. Platonic weapon relationships are possible. But yeah, you choose who you want to hang out with, and then you choose who you want to fight with. And meanwhile, there's other people you can text message here, go shopping, live your best life in Verona Beach, California.
Oh, California.
Nice.
What was the inspiration behind?
You can now friend zone your
coming
weapons.
up with this. It's a really interesting idea.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I grew up playing dungeon crawlers and RPGs and dating sims, and there's a few other games that have, decent combat and decent dating, but I never felt like I was able to date all the people I wanted to. And I don't know, I also felt like sometimes they were a little bit too serious. So I guess I wanted something a little bit lighter, and I wanted to be able to date all the different kinds of people. And I was surprised a few years ago that that game still didn't really exist, so we had to make it.
Totally makes sense. It kind of reminds me, like when I first played it or saw it, it kind of initially reminded me of Persona, the old, like the one of the first two Personas, and then also it reminded me just the idea of the weapons having kind of their own personality was Disgaea, just a little bit, but it's interesting that you have that aspect that each one of these characters is a weapon,
So we can see he's picking an upgrade ability there, and you can go back and change that later in the full game. There's a gym where you can change up your combos that you've picked.
Oh, cool!
But yeah,
Combo
every
designer.
level
Very
of
god
love
handy.
rank up, you'll get either a new ability or a choice of two abilities. And yeah, we took. Okay, you're a swinger then. Good job. Yeah.
I chose it
or maybe that just means. Yeah. Yeah, we took inspiration from a lot of different places. I feel like we came up with something that's pretty unique. But yeah, I love each of the weapons because they're all so different.
How many weapons are there in the game?
So,
Too bad you can't be like a
in the
huge
Kickstarter
weapon
that
master
we ran a
slot.
couple years ago, we announced 9. It looks like we're probably going to launch with 7 and then have 2 come out as free DLC afterwards.
Okay, cool.
At least free for Kickstarter backers. We haven't decided if we're gonna charge after that.
Makes sense. I can imagine that the creativity on your team.
I hope
goes
gun is a
wild
dateable
trying to come
weapon,
up with new weapons. You know what I mean?
Or at
Oh
least
my
a
god,
crossbow.
there's this one that we want to create, and there's that one, that kind of thing.
Yeah, there's so many different kinds of weapons out there, and different. I was really surprised to find that so many people had a fondness for a certain kind of weapon.
Like chain and sickle. Was what open?
And 7 isn't,
I don't know. Didn't you close it
Borderlands
yesterday?
or anything, number of weapons.
Because I had one yesterday.
But
only one.
hopefully there's a good range of different kinds of personalities.
I know,
different
but I
kinds
only
of
had one.
swords,
You wanna know why?
And then there'll be something for everyone.
Because I have self-restraint.
So when
But
you
yeah, there's four
Like
guys
this much.
and 2
Oh, it shrunk. Oh no.
and 2 non-binary.
Oh, okay, interesting.
And then a cat.
Oh, really? I did not see that one.
Do these people not know that
he's a little
Cyberpunk is a
brass
AAA
knuckles.
game? And that we're in an indie?
Oh, we have a transformation sequence.
It's so sick.
Yeah, this is Tawar. He's going back to his human form. It's flirting better.
I wonder if he'd be as attractive if he put on his shirt properly.
So
Like,
tell us a
put
little
on
bit
a
about
shirt,
the
dude.
dungeon crawling sequence.
Yeah, so after this date, I assume you'll go into the dungeon. It's randomly generated, and the first dungeon that you unlock is a mall dungeon. And the dungeons are manifestations of your own fears and insecurities. So it's sort of like a form of
That's
therapy.
interesting.
It's a little bit more violent.
Like as a
And
character
so I'm not
in the
gonna
game?
spoil what all the symbolism is of the different enemies in the mall dungeon. But then later, a nightclub dungeon is also unlocked. And you'll get to know this whole town over the course of the game. But so far we're planning 2 full dungeons, and then also a mini dungeon for the boss fight. And we'll see if there's more for the DLC as well. But there's 12 floors you have to fight through.
12
and
floors.
if you make it through 4 floors, you'll earn an elevator. You'll unlock an elevator so you can skip through the first 4 floors.
Okay, cool. And you said they're randomly generated every time.
Randomly generated, yeah. And there's these different enemies you can fight, and you're gonna level up both in terms of love with your weapon that you're wielding, but also you yourself will gain experience points and level up your wielder level. So that's your overall strength. And there's
So if
also
you
little
unlock a
hangouts
hotter
you
weapon, you
find
can
in
just
the
ditch it
dungeon.
and
So
still be
little
cool.
little places you can go
With your own
and
skills.
spend a few extra minutes together to like unwind and enjoy the scenery.
Use your boba, son. Use your boba.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta heal yourself with your bubble tea. Although we have signs, you can change that. If you're not a big fan of bubble tea, you can always get coffee. Boyfriend Dungeon supports different kinds of beverage.
Nice. So, can you unveil like one of the metaphors behind the enemies? I know you don't want to spoil too much, but you're hitting cell phones and TVs.
Well, I'll say that in the tutorial, you're sort of guided through this with S-Stock. S-Stock sort of teaches you the basics of sword fighting and also like what the dungeon is about.
Oh, that's cool.
And he says there's a few possibilities. He thinks maybe it has to do with, feeling a little bit cold and stagnant. Like why are they all sort of older technologies? And so it's about a fear of stagnation. Is it about a fear of getting outdated? Is it a fear of technology? You'll find out as you go. But the main focus of the game is the relationship with your weapons. But there is sort of this undercurrent of you as a player being this person who's never dated anyone before, and you move to a new town, and you go to the dungeon and you fight monsters and meet all these beautiful people, and hopefully you're confronting your fears a little bit too. Yeah, you can see if you vary up your light attacks and heavy attacks, you'll get different combos. And since you unlocked, you're level 2 now, you're going to have bleeding effects on the enemies. And so as you level up with Talwar, you'll get better and better options for how to control your bleeding effects and get more damage over time going on more different kinds of enemies. But that's Talwar's specialty.
I see.
Okay.
It looks like there's a treasure chest, but it depends if you wanna go deeper, go get that treasure chest.
Oh.
I'm looking at your mini map in the upper right.
Oh, upper right. Oh. Is it the staircase? Is that what that is?
The staircase is how you move
Exit.
further down.
Oh, but there's a treasure chest.
Yeah, right.
Down this way. Okay.
I mean, it's up to you. You don't have to
Let's go.
collect all the treasure.
You need to.
They tend to be recipes that you can. Oh, it's a ambush.
Ambush.
But yeah, you'll find recipes, so you can craft different armors or different hats or different outfits, or gifts. You can craft gifts to give to your dates when you're out with them on the town.
So when you go back home, you're able to craft different things with your recipes, or is it like in the dungeon during combat?
No. You get
Objectified. That's a good one.
Plastic is a new ingredient you've just found. But yeah, no, when you go back home, you can craft stuff.
Women are getting objectified by the weapon they're dating.
And although it's not in the demo. In the demo you can't craft, but it's working in the real game, I promise.
I assure you it's working.
What are you launching on?
We have announced that we're launching on PC and Mac and Switch.
Cool, nice.
We don't have a release date, I'm sorry.
They don't have a pun release date either, do they?
Totally get that.
That's fine.
Totally understand.
It's
The
ready when it's
pandemic
ready.
and everything is making it difficult. I think we had wanted to announce a date by now, but well, we're doing our best. We want the game to be really good. That's what we really want. We want all of this to be as good as it can be before it gets out into everyone's hands.
And
I
you
think our
guys
Kickstarter backers have really high expectations. So.
It makes sense. You guys killed it with your Kickstarter, which is awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it was really fun. We met a lot of really great people. Our Discord blew up. We have a lot of really lovely folks of all different kinds that are cheering us on. And so we're not afraid of launching. We just really want it to be good. Because, at this point we've spent over 4 years on it. And it'd be a shame to spend 4 years and then release something that you didn't think was great,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Same boat.
I mean, no matter what, you always have things you're going to want to change after launch, but...
Yeah, totally. So are you in Montreal?
Yeah, we're Montreal studio.
How is your
And the
team handling?
team... Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, how's your team
Sorry.
handling
That's good.
working remotely?
Pretty good, pretty good. We actually already had one work from home day every week anyway.
That's cool.
So we had the basics set up. Of course, I think people are getting a little bit lonely and restless now that it's been a while. Don't forget to drink your tea.
Oh, LB. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, feels better. Oh, you found a vending machine. I wonder what that's about.
Get some more.
$5 in there.
Some rando stuff.
Whoa, what's gonna happen?
Ooh.
Mysterious. Uh-oh.
Secret area.
You found a secret.
That was pretty dope.
Who are these
These
guys?
monsters are just hanging out. What are they doing?
So how do we find out more about the game? Is a demo coming out soon? Are you gonna release a demo or no?
Not immediately.
Okay.
We're probably going to wait on the demo for a little bit longer to release it to everybody. But
Cool.
you can wishlist the game on Steam. You can subscribe to our newsletter. If you go to boyfrienddungeon.com, you can read more about it. You can join our Discord. You can tweet at us. We have all the boyfriend details for you. And the community is really welcoming. So if you just want to make some new friends, maybe join and chat Boyfriend Dungeon with us anytime.
Thanks so much for joining us. It's awesome to
Thanks for having me.
get the game in our hands and play it. Hope.
Boyfriend Dungeon!
Thanks, Tanya.
Bye.
That was Tanya from Kit Fox Games, Boyfriend Dungeon, highly anticipated. Their community is crazy. It's pretty awesome. Up next, wait, let's shout out our sponsors and our partners. They've been amazing, helping us to make this happen. Idea Xbox, Razer, Wilmer Sounds for helping put this together. We also want to shout out to our media sponsors, IGN, GameSpot, Twitch, of course. The Idea at Xbox folks are working with us on Mixer. It couldn't have been possible without you guys. This is all an independent collective of developers and publishers, and they really believed in what we were doing for the movement. Also, you can contribute to the charities that we have during these crazy times. UNICEF, NAACP, and the Game Heads through our charity link below. It's definitely will help some folks out. But up next, yes, we have 30XX, the sequel to 20XX. Run the trailer.
Sick, it's 30 FPS. Huh. Had to go back and reapply the tape. You know, we get it with it. Maybe a little too ghetto. So 30XDX, the sequel to 20XDX, or?
That was 30XX, the sequel to 20XX or 2000XX. Here we got Chris King. We're going to play the game. Highly anticipated. How's it going?
Hello.
Good, good. Yeah, thanks for sharing the game. When I saw that you guys entered 30XX, I was like, oh my god, because 20XX, I mean, for me personally, as a a developer and loving Capcom games, that kind of thing, it kind of came out of nowhere. I was like, what is this? At first I was like, is this a Mega Man clone? And then I was like looking at how you guys were developing it and evolving the game, and it was like, what? This is, obviously it pays homage, but it's a different type of experience.
Mm-hmm.
And to see that you guys made that, it was successful, and then you guys are making this one, and the art looks gorgeous.
Thank you so much.
Can you tell us a little bit about the evolution of what you've done in the genre with this game?
Yeah, of course. So with the first game, we're super happy with how well 20XX did for us. It was our first commercial game. None of us had made games before. It was the first time we'd really come to this, and so. First time game development's really spicy business, right? So being able to have the studio still be around at this point is super exciting to us. But even after having spent 5 years making 20XX, we still had so much more that we wanted to do with the formula. There's still so much room to improve, so much room for the game to grow. And we knew that getting it to this really high fidelity, really crisp, punchy pixel art style was where we always kind of wanted to take the title in the first place. And so we knew there was so much more we wanted to do on pretty much every side of the game. So it just made sense to go ahead and make a full sequel.
I feel like it's been
Nice. I think you should. Can we play multiplayer? Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh god,
we'll wait till he dies. If he dies, then which will certainly happen.
I will die.
Yeah.
For sure.
If he dies, he dies.
All right.
So can you tell us a little bit about, like, I don't know, I'm obviously interested in the process, but tell us about the game.
Sure. So 30XX is kind of like a co-op roguelike Mega Man X. So it controls a lot like the classic action platformers of the 90s era, except with far crisper controls than are possible during that era, because we have much better like PC refresh rates now, right? So we're able to process your inputs way faster. So it's going to be crisper than was ever possible back then. But so it's kind of like that action platformer style, but everything's randomly generated every time you play through it. So the level sets you're going to see are going to be different. You're going to get powers in a different order. So you can make that jump. Yeah. And your dash by default should be on either right bumper or right trigger, depending on your settings, but we don't practice that right here.
Yeah.
This is a fun piece to get right at the beginning of the demo. Maybe we'll see co-op after all. So hit those little crystals as you go. They spawn little platforms. Oh, that was fast. We're going to pretend. No, that was very obviously on purpose, so we can test co-op.
Because we're doing co-op. You know what I'm saying?
Bingo. That's exactly. So go to that little hit multiplayer, hit couch co-op, and then hit A.
Do it again.
Sorry, hit. I think you both hit it. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So now we have one Nina and one Ace.
Let's make this happen. You're gonna have to run through this because playing this style of game and then asking questions is a rough business.
It's tough. Yeah, you really gotta focus. So you're moving around. You're dashing. If you jump while you dash, you're gonna do like a long jump that you can cross much bigger gaps with.
Wait, so you dash? This is interesting playing. Now I was talking mad stuff, and now I can't even get up. Oh, I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
You gotta go a little higher, and then you got it. There it is. Nice.
Okay.
Trial by fire. Everything's great. You notice the camera zooms out a bunch and go up.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's cool to play this. It's like when I was I died, but as a kid, you always wanted to play these style of games with somebody. So having that component is really.
That's exactly where we were, right? When we first started making 20XX, we really just wanted the ability to have some kind of cooperative play in these kinds of games, because we always wanted them growing up, right? Growing up, you had to share the controller.
Yeah.
Your brother wants to play, and you have a really hard lesson very quickly about having difficult chunks at the beginning of a demo that's streamed in front of a bunch of people.
That's good. The game is challenging, which is great.
It is challenging. This is a very early pre-alpha for us. This is super, super early stuff. We've obviously spent time polishing the demo, but since it's a roguelike, since we're going to throw random level pieces at you, every so often we're going to have pieces that are maybe a little more difficult than we intend to be really early at the beginning of a demo show up. Like, this looks much more reasonable. No required precise wall jumps. It's probably where you ought to be on level 1 of a demo. I have some work to do after
this. But I learned how to jump, do a vertical wall jump, which is great. Now I'm going to use that tool.
Ideally, though, I teach you to do that without a fire that's going to kill you.
Hit the lava so hard.
Oh, he's dead.
Oh my god.
Because it's a roguelike, anytime you fall in lava or touch a spike or anything like that, we're just going to do a little bit of damage to you and set you back instead of straight up killing you. There are optional difficulty toggles, of course, that let you turn on auto kill spikes, but pretty unfriendly for a game like this, where we expect you to get through on one shot. There you go.
So how's the game laid out as far as progression?
That is an awesome question. So in 20XX, there are 4 basic level themes you play through twice every time you play through a run of the game. Where a run of the game is 8 levels, there are themes, 8 main sequence stages that are in a semi-random order. The player has some level of control over the order in which they tackle the stages, but not complete control. So like in a Mega Man game, you finish a stage and there's 7 stages left, right? You can pick whatever one. Yeah. Oh, you're getting chased, run.
Ah! Got smashed by the wolf spikies.
And maybe don't touch the fire. So the big thing you're noticing here, and this is critical to our process here, right? Is that you're making progress. Each of these runs has gotten further than the last.
Yes, we're getting better.
You absolutely are.
We're learning machines.
Yeah, in 30XX, each boss, each main sequence stage has his own entire unique set this time. Oh, it's this piece again. Oh, look at that.
See that? I learned it.
Not even
All right.
close.
Whoa. Oh, it's this.
There it is. He's got it.
Okay.
So we've been going for
we should
about
also
an
still
hour
work
here.
for demo, but if Ace holds B for a
game
couple
plan
seconds, you
is
should be able to like teleport us.
Make it mean.
Oh, what? B?
Just a co-op feature. And then let it go.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, nuts.
Old carryover feature from 20XX. It's important. You know, one of the things here is that we want to make sure that when you're playing 30XX with a friend, that it's always a fun experience, regardless of potential like skill disparities between players.
Yeah, I was thinking
And
that. That's cool.
one of the things that can get really tough, especially I think the onus for us adding that was definitely at one PAX with 20XX years ago. It was like a young father telling us that his kid absolutely loves the game, has so much fun with it, loves the characters, but just really struggles with some of the platforming segments.
Yeah.
And having the child able to like teleport up, meet the parent, made their experience a million times better. So we spent a little time, shot that together, and of course we want to make sure that all of the lessons we learned while we were making 20XX carry over to 30XX. You know, we don't want to backslide anything here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna
I haven't
say.
even seen this piece.
I was gonna say for if you're playing with kids, that's really important. That's really awesome that you did that.
Yeah, we want the game, so obviously at the top end, like with this kind of game, hey, revive capsule. Hey, it's good to know those work in the demo.
Oh, we're
retesting.
Hey,
Oh man, that was convenient. Yeah, we gotta make sure that while the game needs to be properly challenging at the top end, like if you grew up with these kind of games, you want the super spicy, intense, like perfect platforming that the sort of harder top end of these games really can afford. Hey, box. Hey, some health and some money.
I got
Nice.
items.
Can he teleport down to me?
Yeah, so don't do it on a fire.
Yeah.
Try it. Go down that. Yeah, there you go. So it should work pretty much anywhere.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right,
How
you're
big
gonna
is-
come up on this chase section again?
Oh, okay, yeah. So we know that we don't want to get hit by the wolf spikes.
Roof spikes, yeah.
Don't want to get hit by spikes.
Fire.
Flame.
Dash.
Don't want to kill.
You didn't see the.
Oh, look at that! Look
Everything's
at my
fine.
skills on.
Nothing is broken.
That's.
I thought
All
my
right, a little further. That
I
was
thought
one screen
my skills were
deeper into
impeccable.
level last time.
It's super fun. How big is your team?
It really depends on how you measure. There are 8 or so of us working on 30XX right now, all of
Really?
which in
Right now, I
capacities,
guess.
you know,
This team I'm shrunk
if you're adding up everybody's
the
like
current
full-time
circumstances.
contributions, it's probably more like 6. It's myself doing tech creative design. We've got 2 lovely artists, one doing characters and sprite work. That's Clever Kataki. If you recognize this kind of sprite style from either like Rogue Legacy or Chasm or Duelist, it's the same guy. It's
Oh
wonderful.
yeah, cool.
The tiles and the backdrops and all that stuff is Fabian Jastrzemski, German environment artist. They've both been lovely. Brandon Ellis, our composer in Georgia, with all the sweet tunes that you've got to have.
Yeah, sick tunes.
Nice. And we've got sorry, I'm getting a little too into the weeds about individual team members, but
No,
everybody
it's
is
good.
lovely. They're about
It's interesting. That's cool.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
it's about twice the size of 20XX's team.
It's not too late for
It's
eggs.
solid. So where are you going to teleport out?
Breakfast whenever.
Yeah, I'm gonna teleport over there. Oh no!
Did you get deaded?
Crazy like
All right, one more teleport. He teleported up while you were in midair, and then he fell back in the hole.
I was wondering.
Pretty
I was
pro
wondering if
moves.
that was possible, or. But yes, it is. So you got to be careful when you teleport.
Nice.
I like the rogue aspects, just the variety and not knowing exactly what you're faced, but the skills are maintained. That's really interesting.
Exactly. That's the core of the design right there, right? So we love these precise adaptations. We love seeing a situation, thinking, what's in my toolkit that lets me respond to this, and then adapt it and mastering the game, right? We don't love Mega Man 2's like Heat Man disappearing blocks, where the only way to get it is to like die a bunch of times by falling into the pit with no indication of where the blocks are appearing.
Whoa.
So we throw different pieces at you every time. Obviously, it's a very early roguelike. Like, we're still very early in the process. We're not even in early access yet. We got a ways to go there. But there's still a pretty decent amount of level generation here.
That's awesome. So when are you releasing? Do you have a date?
That is a great question. We don't have a firm date yet. We're definitely going to do early access. So early access for 20XX. If anybody watching either played 20XX or saw it during early access, you know that we were in early access for 2.5 years, about. Really long time. The only reason we're still here, the only reason the studio is still here, the only reason we get to make a new game is because our incredible early access community on 20XX gave us the feedback and the resources and the pushes we need to make the game great. So we'd be really foolish to not do early access this time around. So early access is definitely coming. Probably sometime between this fall and next spring. We've been telling people it's like a 70% chance that it's somewhere in that window. But it depends on a lot of stuff. And then 1.0 is sometime after that. You know, we can't hit a 1.0 release date until we know exactly how much stuff we got to get done in early access.
That totally makes sense. The game is gorgeous. It's really fun to play. And you're releasing on what platforms initially? I know you said early access, so that'll be Steam, right?
Right, so Steam. So PC first for sure. Our official line right now is PC and consoles. We don't know which consoles yet. We're still working on that.
Totally makes sense. Can you wish list now?
You can wish list now, and as of right this moment, right here, right now, you can actually play our Steam Festival demo, this demo, early, now, right now, actually right now. You can click it and have fun. You can Google 30XX Steam. It'll probably pop up pretty easily there. Unlike 20XX, we have a little bit better SEO this time around. And of course, you can wishlist it. Yeah, please.
Yeah, wishlist the game. Play the game. The game is really cool. Thanks so much for hopping on. Where can we find you and the game?
Like a
Any
small,
last
like,
shout outs?
1,000
yeah, I mean, I'm so proud of the team we put together. Thank you guys so much for helping us get this game to where it is now. And I want to shout out the community for having been so supportive of us while we've been building it. Without you guys, we are nothing and we have nothing. And we're so happy that you're here for the journey.
So, thanks you so much. Thanks for
of course, thank you guys. Take care.
All right.
New World
that was 30XX. It's coming along so great. Make sure to wish list it and check out their Steam page. Next,
is there some kind of scam
we have
going on
West
with
of
Dead
Games.
Adam
is going to be joining us.
It'll like help our sales or something. The kind of vibe I'm getting.
Purgatory, Wyoming.
Hey, we saw this game. So we're kind of mostly seeing games we've already seen, just getting demos. I'd be interested to see more of this game.
The good ones head east.
It's like your Ghost Rider, but in the Wild West.
Sometimes they stick around when they ain't supposed to.
Yep.
That's where I come in. To change their mind. I got a job to do. But it ain't always that simple.
Yo, it would be super weird if this game didn't get a demo. Considering what we've seen played so far. Like every other game had a demo. How many games did they reveal in the other ones? If this is only 7 games. Because it feels like a lot now. Like even without the demoing, the discussion is pretty long.
The hero only dies once. I says, a hero is someone who keeps coming back.
Wested! Yo, Wested. That's a sick ass symbol. How has no one come up with that before?
That was the amazing trailer.
Enter the Gungeon Dark. No.
West of
Enter the Gungeon has.
We got Adam on the line.
Enter and exit both have different guns.
Adam? How
the
you
gun
doing?
matters more than your character.
Good.
Because,
Very good, thank you. Excited.
I like your
character
poster.
driven.
Logan is Sick.
Oh yeah, I've got loads of rubbish up here. Loads of
Is that a
stuff.
twin? I hope it's not a twin stick shooter. Though. It kind of looks like it.
Yeah, so yeah, we've been playing the game. Like, congratulations!
I hope it's just like an over the top,
it looks
like
amazing. It's so awesome to have
kind of like Hotline Miami or something.
The actors you have involved with.
What is that kind of game called?
It's
yes,
the game is gorgeous. Yeah, how did that even come about?
Corridor shooter. I think.
Well, I'd like to say it was completely by design, 100% skill. It was our plan the whole time, but really
that Logan poster though.
We teamed up.
Is that a
with
Punisher
Fury,
poster too?
And
okay.
They
the
saw
right side next to is that a gun?
Bigger in the game,
hole in his
and
wall.
we had the confidence. Being British, we're low on confidence.
Chapter.
So
that's pretty cool.
there's a lot of confidence in the title and what we were making than we presumed to have. So they said, who would be your ideal, actor to be the narrator in this game?
Black and white.
Well, Ron Perlman.
I like it when games are black and white with a splash of a singular color.
And they did. So
like black, white, neon, black, white, red. Like real stills.
And
One and two.
Yeah, so that was a bit of a dream come true for us, to be honest.
That's cool.
This game is a
Yeah,
little
shout out to
color.
Raw Fury. They've been amazing with the working on the Guerrilla Collective, and then showcasing your game.
Oh, is it Ron Perlman?
Some exclusive stuff was pretty awesome. I mean, we've been following this game for a while. Yeah, having Ron Perlman definitely adds notoriety, but also to the theme, because it sounds so rich.
Yeah, no, definitely. He was by far the top of our list. So yeah, we're very, very lucky.
So tell us about the game and like how you came up with the whole idea. Your team came up with the idea and the design.
Yeah, no problem at all. So, what we usually like to say is that a person had a very clear idea on everything. That isn't how this happened at all. It was very much a bucket list of things that we love. So we love comic books and we love different flavors of shooters.
Maybe I should play the demos for some of these
horror
games.
games as well.
There really is nothing going on my channel.
We
right
had
now.
really different ideas about things that might be really fun. And we decided to try and put it all in one package and see what happens. Luckily for us, it seemed to come together into something that has its own sort of voice, which we're quite proud of.
So tell us a little bit about the mechanics as he's smashing.
So as you can see, you can see straight away that we were trying to meld two different.
I should make toast since we haven't been using the road.
Very rarely have anything to do with one another. So we're big fans of twin stick shooters, but we also wanted to see what could happen if we brought cover mechanics into the centre of the twin stick experience. And
what if I did? Wait, are you okay?
You
think you're decent?
Or combined in that way before, and that meant quite a lot.
I'm going to turn the camera in this direction.
Testing as always to try and figure
No,
it
because I'm
out.
going to make the toast, and I don't want to get up and get back down.
Get this clear sense of like
I can wait until you leave.
Western-style gunfight. Where you
if you want to eat here or somewhere.
Count your bullets, dash out,
that's cool.
Do some damage, and then get back into cover
I just don't want to be off camera for like as long as it takes to make toast.
In the game is to try and do one of two things. The bandits are either trying to get you out.
No, I'm going to do it myself.
Or if you're
it's not an inconvenience. I just don't want to, put you on the spot if you don't want to be.
Unique to cast.
Because I imagine you're about to leave or whatever.
And the cover is breakable and explodes and stuff like that as you go.
I'm going to turn the
camera
camera now.
Destroy the cover while you're trying to kill them.
Absolutely, yeah. So with the classic Western shootouts, you'll dive behind cover, reload your weapons, and you have a boost to how quickly you can reload when you're behind cover. So there's good reasons to get in there.
Or no, it's like a greenish
cover
hue.
doesn't last forever.
Ooh, is
The
that a
great thing
sword?
about it though is you can shoot
weapon wheel.
with complete impunity.
He's got a rifle, a
If you're behind
pistol,
cover,
and a knife.
even if you're shooting, the cover's going to take the damage, not you. But it doesn't last forever.
That's really cool. It does definitely look like a living, breathing comic book, which is.
Thank you very much.
I really like
That's exactly what we were hoping to hear.
All the characters have a lot of like interesting design. He's got the red cape and kind of like the Ghost Rider,
Like a gritty web
flame,
team
but then
comic or
he has this like. I'm an art dude, so like looking at that, this is the first thing I kind of key into. But he has like the slash across his skull, which is really like makes him stand out. Yeah, I could definitely see figures and stuff made from this character.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think a lot of our sort of love for different comic books
No, I don't need
shone
camera
through in
at all.
a lot of the designs, especially when it came to like.
You know I have a lot of hair on my head, right?
That appear in the title for sure.
Oh, okay. You're gonna eat over there?
Very good. You're playing well. Oh, as you can see, we've had to do quite a lot of interesting things with the different weapons we have as well. So, shotguns have a very short range compared to rifles, and there's about 4 different flavors of weapons. There's rifles, shotguns, pistols, and revolvers, and each of these squeeze the player into a different corner of the gameplay. So, shotguns are great close up and have a wide arc, but you've really got to get out from cover to get close enough to use them most of the time. Unless you're willing to sit put and wait for something to come to you.
So can you tell us about or tell the world about the story and the narrative behind what's going on?
Yeah, love to, absolutely love to. So we are doing quite a riff of the kind of like a stranger in town, sort of classic Western style story. You don't know who you are. You don't know who you were, but you know that there is a new place that you need to clean up. And but this place, different from other Westerns, is set in the afterlife. But not your classical kind of Christian style afterlife that we taught. It's its own place, it's got its own kind of lore. And this is a place which is shaped by the memories and fears of the souls that are stuck there. And normally the souls will pass through, everything's fine, and they face some kind of judgment. The good ones head east and the bad ones are sent west. But for some reason, purgatory is stuck. People aren't leaving when they should, and that's because something's gone wrong, which is what you're there to sort out. Oh, nice shot.
That was like a money shot for sure. I can't wait to see some of the bosses. I bet you the design is outstanding.
Oh, we've had a lot of fun designing a lot of these enemies. I mean, the other thing about the story is, with the structure is a kind of a roguelike structure, so you never know what's around the next corner. We want that to... we really want to make the players' skill build up and keep facing them with new surprises each run. But trying to mesh that with a clear story is a bit of a challenge, actually.
Yeah,
so we had to start thinking about the story not as a straight line, but as a spiral that goes back around and back around to the same points. And what can we tell the player in these known little areas of the game, and which is usually in between levels, it turns out. So there's a little cast of characters who will tell you a bit about themselves, a bit about your past, as well as recurring antagonists that you'll come across as bosses as the game moves forward.
So is it the enemy distribution is randomized, and are like is the cover randomized, or the levels randomized, or just mostly the enemy distribution?
It is. So every room. Sorry, you're speaking to the coder here, so stand back. I'm going to start going into detail.
Go in.
So every room that you're in has been thought of as like a dozen different flavors.
And it is kind of hard to sometimes tell the difference between like AAA and like independent games, right? It might be a good place to have cover. It might be a good place to have a column in the way, and then also
the rooms are combined in different orders. The content of the room is different every time, and also we have basically like a magic bucket of baddies that we put in a certain number of points, and you say give us 30 points of baddies, and it will shake itself and then pour out a few baddies for each room. So that allows us to have some degree on the exact number of enemies that you might have, but we kind of make recipes of enemies, so we always want to have one of these guys as a minimum. We can never have more than 2 of these types of baddies. So when we throw that through a computer, we end up with what we hope is a best of both, where there are rules and structure to the kind of encounters that you have. It will never be a mob of purely melee guys. At the same time, it won't be the same every time either. It'll be different for every single room, every single run.
That's cool.
I was wondering about health because I was like, it looked like I went to a room where I was like, was I saving my progress there? What was the?
That's right. Yeah. So if the skull flashes in the bottom right corner, yeah. So that ring, those are save points. So you can recover your run back from there if you haven't died. So if you want to just go and make a cup of tea, or coffee, you can come back and continue your run from there. So it's got an in-game save, so you can. Runs can get pretty long, so if you feel like, I'm an hour in, but I don't want to lose my run, you can stop and come back later on. And also, it's a roguelite, so there are extra abilities that you can permanently unlock. For example, a health flask, which lets you have 1 heal per run, followed by a passive health flask with 2 heals per run, or rather 2 heals per level. And these things start to give you just a slight leg up at the start of the runs. So depending on how confident you are, you can, if you really need to, grind it a little bit to give yourself a bit of a leg up. Or if you're feeling, super on it from the start,
hackers shouldn't really be selling games
without having
should be the game
die
that sells itself.
This game is West of Dead looks dope. Man.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's cool to get like a good, well-known voice actor.
So
actor.
right now, can you wish list on Steam?
Shouldn't be a
I saw
time.
that you can play the demo on Xbox, right?
Yes, you can. So you can play the demo on
these
Xbox
days.
and Steam. It is currently on an open beta, and I think I'm meant to say this. I can't see any notifications popping up. So if you play the open beta, I think you can get a discount on the launch, which is on Thursday.
Thursday is the launch, so everybody pick that up.
Oh,
make sure to definitely check out this game. It's really awesome. Thanks for joining us. How can we find out more about you and your team and
I'll get it.
Anything else you want to?
Wait.
Yeah, please. So we are Upstream Arcade. Google us.
Hold on.
We should be there.
It's not work stuff, is it?
I won't do that right.
Okay, hold on. So we did the Iron
Google
Harvest.
us, find out a bit more about us. And,
Say no more.
West of Dead. And yeah, the team got a very small team, only 4 people.
Boyfriend Dunson.
Oh, really?
Wow. The central team. So
20XDX.
we're very excited.
There are 2 more left.
And hope that everyone has a lot of fun.
Right.
Cool. Thanks so much. Thanks, Adam. That was West of Dead. The game is cool. Shout out to Raw Fury again for hooking them up with Ron Perlman and just
it is Ron Perlman.
Publishers. Next up, we have System Shock.
What has Ron Perlman been into?
Check out the trailer.
I haven't seen him since like Pacific Rim. Did he do a cameo? I don't think he did a cameo for Hellboy. My God. These scrambled eggs. It's System Shock. System Shock. Yeah, they're good. It's just like they're so small, I'm like lightly trying to pick them up instead of scoop all the way. I was actually going to check out the demo for this. Because, yeah, it's System Shock. It's popular and famous for some reason. Showdown! It's like the direct inspiration for BioShock, which we did play all the BioShock games earlier this year on the channel. Was it early COVID? My God, that was like 2 months ago I played those games. Jeez. It was either 2 months ago or early, like last month. Man, I normally can't keep track of time right now. But like, I don't know, the pandemic is really screwing with my ability to numbers.
So that was the System Shock trailer, which we showed yesterday on the Guerrilla Collective for the first time. The game looks really amazing. Here we have Steven Kick, CEO of Night Dive Games, and it's great to have you here to talk with us, the CEO of Night Dive. How's it going?
Good. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm glad to be here to talk Shock.
I hope they're showing alternate
I
demos.
thought you said talk shop.
It'd be kind of lame
Talk
if they
shiznits.
played the same demo that I
No,
just played.
it's so awesome to have you. I'm a big fan of like a lot of the stuff that you've remastered and the games that you've worked on previously. I think I was talking about like maybe a week before we knew you were, going to be on the live stream about like Turok and Sin
Turok.
Gold
Shout out Hunter, baby.
and just a lot of the games that you guys worked on, which were a big part of my childhood, with my like Voodoo card, Voodoo 2 card, VFX chip card and my like janky Celeron processor, but playing all those games back in the day, they're like the first 3D games. So it's cool that you were able to jump in and have your team work on System Shock. Congratulations on the success that you've had so far.
And it's crazy to think like the old games from like the 90s and the 70s were like literally capped.
Kind of the core philosophy of
like that was like groundbreaking.
And
like,
to go out and find those
exploding
games that you and I both played as kids and be able to resurrect them so that not only we can enjoy them, but new generations can enjoy them as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. So can you tell us a little bit about like how System Shock like came to be, this version of it?
This version of it. Okay, so Night Dive started at the beginning of 2012.
2072?
With the
Still time
re-release
for
of
that?
System Shock 2, which up to that point had not seen a digital re-release of any kind. And the success of that is kind of what catapulted Night Dive into the business of going out and finding other IP and other games to resurrect.
Oh, cool.
And System Shock was just one of those games that once we had the rights to it, we knew was kind of owed a remaster or a re-release of some kind, because as good as it was back in 1994, it was very obtuse. The control scheme was kind of notoriously difficult to master. 3D was still kind of on the cusp of widespread use in the industry. It was up against games like Doom, so it just didn't really have the chance to really breathe and to show what it had to offer. And so we thought it was just the perfect game to
I'm not even gonna move it.
breathe new life into. And so we've completely redone the game from the ground up in Unreal Engine 4.
The game you made.
It started off as a Kickstarter project back in 2016, and it's grown and evolved to what we're playing now.
What were some of the things that you did to make it more accessible?
Those are really good eggs, Mom. Thank you.
This one's going to seem fairly obvious, but even
not too
adding
crispy, not too
something as
light.
simple as mouse look does wonders for it. The original didn't have that. It's kind of hard to explain, but you had to kind of click and drag the screen around to move the viewport. And we've since added mouse look into the original. But this game is going to play very much like a contemporary first-person shooter. We're going to add in tutorial tooltips to help people along the way so they understand what these implants do that you're installing now. Combat and everything is going to be familiar to anybody who's played a first-person shooter in the last 15-20 years.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a game that definitely benefits from an upgrade, a modernization, and this is really beautiful in terms of how it looks, not only but gameplay too. And I was noticing that like as you get close to things, they still have this sort of pixelated. Let me go to something like this.
Yeah,
like,
they get more
this
pixelated the
art
closer you
style,
get,
which
which
is
kind of cool.
very reminiscent of the. But then as you get farther away, you have that incredible lighting and those reflections and stuff. It looks awesome.
Yeah, thank you. This art style is something that we have taken a lot of pride in because we did want to pay homage to the original in some way, artistic. And one of the first things we did was actually brought on the original concept artist and main artist from the original System Shock to re-envision all the environments, all the enemies, all the weapons, pretty much everything. And so we've not only got to see his evolution as an artist over the last 20 years, but also exactly how System Shock would look today. if it were updated. So this is as true to a new realization of that as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to pick up that ammo.
Ammo for your non-gun. I like picking up in the beginning of games. It's like ammo everywhere, but no gun until you get the end of the level.
I just kind of want to let the ambience roll through. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't mind watching. It's always a thrill to see somebody play it for the first time.
Ooh,
yeah, it was so hard to play back in the day. I wasn't primarily a PC gamer. I had a Mac, but it was one of those games where you're like, because Deus Ex for me was one of my favorite games.
Original Deus Ex.
And this is obviously kind of a precursor to that. It's one of those games that you wish you could have played more. So it's so awesome that you've done this. You've gone to this effort, and this is funny too. It's like there was no way to do something like this, with the textures that they had, where it's like, okay, enter the keypad here.
It'd be cool to see
you know what I just
we saw
noticed
animated
is
today,
you're playing with a gamepad, and it might be a lot more difficult, just because we haven't really implemented full controller support yet. Like, it seems like you're getting by.
Yeah.
But when the game does come out on PlayStation and Xbox and games that are it's going to be a lot more.
It's in the hands of Square Enix, and
it feels good on the gamepad. I mean,
it does.
As of now.
7 Part 2 of
definitely understand that.
Something. Someday. Oh yeah, that's a good one.
And this is the original audio, right? From.
Yeah, 2 bullets too. I love that shit. In the beginning.
So right now, all the audio logs and Shodan's audio is from the original game, and that's fairly temporary.
Yeah, you can feel how this game inspired.
We figured, hey, we've got the audio. Let's use that.
It's kind of crazy going
to
back.
stub in while we're developing, and then as we kind of
before days.
Near the end of development, we'll go ahead and re-record all this audio with professional voice actors and new lines.
Right.
Really?
I was wondering. It is a nice touch, though. Maybe as something that an option. I don't know if you're gonna keep it, but it is fun to hear the old stuff.
Is it a remake or
I remember playing this. Those dudes creep me the hell out.
Yeah.
It's still creepy as hell.
You may want to use a meta patch pretty soon.
Wow. I didn't see him take any hits.
This is where
that's your inventory. Okay, so it slots like Deus Ex.
Yeah, okay.
I thought he was looting the corpse. So.
Yeah. And how do I
I wish I could tell you on the keyboard. It's you just hit 1 on the keyboard.
1. Okay, hold on. I've got a keyboard. I have to get out of this, do I?
Oh, there you go. You could use like that. Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, nice.
Oh, good wheel.
See, the gamepad is working.
Yeah, if I just
make it happen.
If I was good at it. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Oh yeah, and I can select my gun.
So the demo is out now, which is awesome that everybody can play it, and you can wishlist it now on Steam, correct?
That's right. Yeah.
Nice.
And it's out on GOG.
Oh my god, I heard about the PC gaming show. I think it's going on later today.
And when you release, are you going to release multi-platform simultaneously, or are you going to release PC first?
A simultaneous release is the plan, so we'll be hitting PlayStation, Xbox, and PC all at the same time. But we're still a little ways off from that, so we'll see. But that is the plan.
That makes sense. You don't have a release yet, or do you have one?
It's to be decided.
Makes sense.
When it's done. I mean, we're kind of at that stage right now where we've invested so much time.
Yeah.
Well, you're dead.
Dead, so I can deal with this.
Maybe.
No.
You got deaded.
But more demo though?
We've invested so much time and so much love and passion in this project, really, that it's going to be done when it's done. And I know as cliched as that sounds, it's like, this is going to be perfect when it's released, and we're not going to make any exceptions.
totally makes sense. I mean, it's like a masterpiece. I know a lot of people were waiting for the trailer, and when they saw the updated trailer yesterday, they went crazy. So that it's awesome to see that kind of love, you know, get pushed back into something that you love, you know.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of that is kind of owed to just the lineage that System Shock has, which spans as far as, you know, the BioShock games, Prey, Dishonored, pretty much any immersive sim that's come after that is, you know, owes its existence to System Shock, and there's a lot of fans waiting for this, and we know you're waiting very patiently, and we're doing our best to deliver something that's going to be memorable, and it's going to be worth the wait.
Cool. Well, it was great having you on board. Thank you so much, Steven, for showing the game and talking about it. It's cool to like see how the sausage is made, and for folks in the chat, you know, to learn about it too. So yeah, shout out.
Thank you guys.
How can we find more about your team and the game?
I still think it's weird to have for gaming.
You can go to systemshock.com. That's the easiest one, and we do actually still have a backer kit open for those who still want to back the project and score some really cool swag at the same time. We've got collector's editions, t-shirts, art books, all that stuff is up for pre-order right now. And yeah, if you just kind of want to follow Night Dive Studio, you can follow us on Twitter. It's Night Dive Studio because we ran out of characters like you guys did.
Yeah, Guerrilla Collect. I know how that is. So
yeah,
for sure. But yeah, thanks for joining us, and everybody go try out the demo.
Yeah.
Wish list. It's gonna be dope.
Cool, thank you guys.
So rare.
That was System Shock. You did really well with the controller.
I did better.
It's the first time I used a controller like all day.
I'm super excited about this game.
I haven't really been paying
this whole
attention.
genre, like he was saying, like the games that have come after this, it's had such an impact on the industry, and super excited that they're not going to release it until they're ready, because this is a super important game. So that's really cool.
Yeah. Well, let's shout out our sponsors again. We got Carlos.
So there's one more game left, or?
Coming up with the Eternal Cylinder. I know you guys were looking for in the chat. We're looking for that to roll you guys over, and it's coming up next. Shout out to Idea Xbox, Razer, Fully Illustrated, Wilmer Sound, AV Society, Astro. We got a Razer machine here. They've been dope. Also, shout out to IGN and Idea Xbox again. GameSpot and Twitch for really supporting the Guerrilla Collective. We couldn't have done it without their help showing these games again. These independent game developers, large and small, came together to do this because there was a lack of E3, and we wanted to get visibility for, you know, the games that we've been spending so much time, effort, blood, sweat, and tears to make.
On the PlayStation, maybe?
Yes, please also, if you have in your heart of hearts, contribute
Maybe
to
by itself
UNICEF,
with its own
NAACP, or Gameheads through the link below.
If Rockstar was going to do its own event, it would have to be like a long demo
into the
like
next
GTA
game.
6 or something.
Yes, here's the trailer for Eternal.
Well, what else did Rockstar make? They make the Red Dead. Is there some other thing I'm forgetting? There was a period where they made a bunch of other games too, and then they just stopped, and it's only Red Dead and Grand Theft Auto. I think those other games were good too. I should look at that Rockstar. Oh, this is quiet. Oh, let me look that up. I feel like I'm forgetting a really good game Rockstar made. Yes, I am aware. Oh, podcast day. Crap. Yeah, I thought Cylinder was Sport 2 when I first saw it.
survives alone.
That was the beautiful trailer for the Eternal Cylinder. We do have Carlos on board to talk about the game. We're going to play the game. Hey, what's up, Carlos?
Hello, how are you guys?
Yeah, it's kind of a
Great.
Unless I miscounted.
The game looks amazing. I think the first time we played it was at Good Shepherd's hidden area at Gamescom, and it was so beautiful. I remember seeing the game.
LA Noire, Bully, Max
when
Payne.
you first started. Was it in 2015, 2016?
Around 2015,
I think I played that a
2016,
little
I did a type of a small prototype I did with a colleague.
Yeah.
It wasn't expected to be like the official next day
Warriors game
that we were doing at the time. It was just a kind of a personal project, and we took it to a GDC, like to show it around. But then it started catching the attention of people, and was like, wow, it seems like this is more than we anticipated.
Oh.
And it grew into this pretty large
Oni.
project.
I thought Oni was maybe a
one of the
Bungie.
biggest things we've done to date. So yeah, it's been quite a trip.
The game is so dope that people are accusing it of breaking the stream.
Yes, I
Yesterday.
Wow,
And we're gonna
doesn't break this one.
Yeah, it definitely. We hope so. When the cylinder comes, run, because we don't want the stream to be steamrolled. We are going to be making a moat because everyone's so good in the chat. I know everyone's talking stuff in the chat right now. Shout out to the chat for being very hilarious and vocal. But we're going to play the game.
Yeah, that one guy got it in the green stuff.
Oh,
it's cool.
I hit continue.
We're gonna play in a continued state. It's gonna be great.
I can let you.
Maybe
you're the big.
Oh yeah, it's true. There's like a mini PC war.
Go to the main menu and maybe start from the beginning.
Okay, let's do that.
That is going to show the.
You play on Mac?
New
game.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, just walk us through it. The gameplay and what's going on.
And the news is whack.
So it's a definitely different game. It's a game about these little creatures which are being introduced here in this intro cinematic, which are the Trebum. The Trebum are directly inspired by Qbert. This funny little head creatures with a trunk and two legs, very similar. But they have this ability to mutate
Basically
and eat things in the
nanospores.
environment and transform. So you're a family of these little creatures
Spores
that are
light.
born
Oh,
in this
spores
area
light,
where-
so like
where,
nanospores.
as you see, as soon as you like exit the intro cinematic, you start right there right in front of the cylinder, and they're tossed. You appear in this very hostile alien world, and it's a survival game, but not.
So is the cylinder like the width of the
not an
planet?
adventure game. It's really
Does it
something
go all the way
quite different.
around?
People
Before
have
going all the way
very
around?
explore,
Like, is the cylinder like a
really
giant donut?
nothing like sports.
Like the rings of Saturn or something?
No, it's not. Maybe the look.
Or does it
of
like,
some of the creature
or does it
design,
like,
stuff that,
what's the
but,
word?
it's its own
Rotate on an
thing.
axis.
Yeah, this feels really unique.
It's very intuitive, like how
These would
you
be
have to
my
combine
questions.
like different elements, things that you have to.
Yeah. If you look backwards, you start and immediately you have this
okay.
massive cylinder that's crushing the whole world. You don't know what's going on. And one of the big difficulties we've had with the project is definitely the
width of the
technical
cylinder,
aspect
yes.
is pretty big in this project because we have everything
Oh, it's
that's
not
being
actually moving
destroyed
that
here is
fast.
actually dynamic. It's not that
You
we
totally
fake it
outrun it
only for the.
and do some stuff.
We didn't only fake it for the introduction of the game and the scene. Like many games, like maybe had some very cool starting setup where you had like lots of maybe particles and stuff. But the truth is that for this game, the cylinder is rolling at times all the time.
Does the
and
cylinder roll at 30 FPS?
It can go pretty fast, so we had to have all sorts of different solutions.
Does the cylinder have rollback
static
netcode?
objects, like solid objects like rocks and things that you can see kind of break and explode, but we also have trees that stand and many different things. The creatures that can crush and stuff.
Yeah. He was making me nervous, kept looking behind him. I was like, look forward.
Yeah,
keep going.
At the beginning, we had the cylinder going like at a stable speed, and we
Oh.
were dying in the very first minutes of the game, so we don't want that to happen.
Oh, I see. So the cylinder's getting caught on a heavy object or something. So its speed isn't set except for the terrain.
The first basic things
that is rather smart.
As you'll see, you get these like kind of weird grasshoppers, and they drop this little egg there, and if you eat it and choose it, you'll notice one of the main features of the game right now.
Becoming Kirby.
Is eating them.
Kirby is the ultimate power in this universe.
You grow these grasshopper legs, which allow you to sort of jump out of the ditch and sort of start exploring and playing around.
Cool.
So the game is separated in a structure
nice
that's
figure out
not
this
very
new space.
typical compared to other titles.
I have
in the
here.
sense that yes, it is procedurally generated, the terrain, but at certain moments we have the game go into like pre-designed areas where we want to further the narration of the game, where we would want to further the story, and do specific puzzles or specific areas. So if you, for instance, if you can see that fish over there, the one that's swimming over there. If you can go and eat it.
Yeah, you can go through water.
Try to go in there and
breathe infinitely.
Yeah, exactly. If you go out and eat it, you'll notice that you'll acquire another mutation. The mutations stack on each other. Not all of them, but now you have a big body, so this allows you to have a big.
And that guy looks like huge. He must have huge guts.
This game has a lot of features. You have the stamina wheel for swimming.
Oh, you can't eat that. Yeah,
mutations
you can eat
take
it later,
can alter different aspects.
Oh shit!
Of
It's gonna eat you.
Of the struggle.
It's like a boss version of you, I guess.
So these are.
Okay.
Sure.
No, talk about it. This thing is crazy looking.
Yeah, that's one of the animals of the game. They just wander around there. Those are.
Those roll
They can
I
try
thought he was a
to
big boy after eating
roll
that
over
fish.
you.
I had a
And
big
so there's a
boy.
lot of things that roll over you in this game. But we have like this whole ecosystem of different alien creatures, and they're separate by different biomes. So we have this is like the main, what we call the alien savannah biome.
Peak evolution.
And
this green guy is pretty cool.
Go to the first elder. There's an elder over there who's gonna introduce you to one of our assets.
I like the roll.
You can roll.
Was there no spore too?
Yeah,
we there was spore and like dark spore and
Yes,
some
that's
other
what
games.
yeah, I was gonna say.
So it was
It's
like four spores.
We like rolling, so.
That's cool.
So as I was saying, there's different biomes with totally different types of environments, and there's different creatures that you'll encounter. They range in scale and size. And some are predators, some are herbivores, some are very dangerous, some are not dangerous at all. We're trying to make this kind of ecosystem in which the player gets to explore.
But the cylinder,
But what makes it unique also is the aspect of how progression goes on with the cylinders sort of.
Imagine playing this game for so long you forget what direction the cylinder is facing.
Build the world as.
Oh, okay, it's not constantly rolling either.
So we constantly have to load in the environment.
That's interesting. So it's like constantly randomly generating.
So now you should go to the tower that you see.
It's not just like
roll
you load
to
into
any
like a
of those
world
towers
and it's
you can
set.
check.
It's
You
like
see
no,
the
it's going
big
to
red
change
beam?
constantly. And
Go that direction, for instance. Either of those.
He's getting nervous. You see that?
I'm panicking.
He's like walking slowly.
Freaking out.
The music is intended to be.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have to reach that tower over there.
I'll make
This
it.
is the very beginning, so you're basically learning the.
Gotta learn the lore, dude.
That's cool.
Later on in the game, the cylinder gets this red glow and it really catches a lot of speed. I mean, it goes really, really fast. So you're basically racing your way for your life. And with all these little creatures, you have to really, really run away.
Dude.
Oh, look at that guy.
Yeah, that's we call him the Chomper.
Yeah, you should
He's gonna
stand
eat you
there
once
and
he
let
gets
him
over.
eat you, Alex.
That is
I have to
crazy
stay
design.
on the blue.
Oh.
I've got to stop the cylinder.
Okay, it's
right?
just
Stop
cylinder
it
safe
up.
zone.
There we go.
So there you're safe, and you can.
I was scared. I thought Chomper was gonna smash you on while you were stopping it.
He's a vegetarian.
Wow.
So the structure of the game is a little bit like that, but not entirely. You have to remember that this is a kind of the onboarding aspect part of the game. So here's a little bit more peaceful. There are creatures that can actually kill you. But to the right, you'll notice there was this kind of snowy area that you can go over there. So that's a small, brief introduction to one of the different biomes.
Oh, so for those of you watching this stream, I am covering my image is covering a bar that has like
because it's cold. And you're going to actually start losing health. But if you move to the left over there, I'm just cheating here, I'm telling you. You can see those like puffy balls near to those corals things that are right behind you. And you could go right back to the behind you.
I feel like there should be a thing in the game that forces you to do something every couple minutes, like a survival bar.
Oh, this.
Yeah, those.
So there's kind of like a lack of.
Turn around,
Like when the cylinder is not cylindering, there's like a lack of.
Into the snow. Okay.
Urgency.
Sorry, there's a little bit of a delay, I think. When you, okay.
Yeah. There. You see the puppy?
Like a tiny bar that says you'll eat something.
Oh,
would be
There. There. Eat one of those.
Maybe that's what that. There's another bar over there. I just noticed that's above the bar I'm covering.
So not all ingredients give you a mutation. Some of them do, some of them don't. There's a reason for that. There's a.
Oh, and a timer too. I guess how long the cylinder is going to be trapped in place.
So this is a temporary mutation, but later you can make it permanent. But now you have a coat of fur. So this allows you to explore in this area, and you can find other Trebum who will join you in your adventure. So there's a lot of different aspects of how we allow people to explore different areas. So this is the chomper, but this is the furry one from the
furry roll.
You have to be careful.
Oh, cool.
It will itch you.
Holy crap! Is that bigger or the same size? Now he's furry.
He's not as vegetarian as I thought he might be.
Oh my god! It's I can see the teeth. It's a giant sideways walking mouth.
Cool. And when you get when you get the different tribes, you can switch between them, right?
Yeah. For instance, there's one over there who's
Spirit away bullshit.
Oh, cool.
And now you have a little AA partner who will follow you, and that's a central aspect of the game is getting other Trebum and growing like this herd of little creatures, which is going to follow you during the adventure, and you can switch between them, and you can stack on them their own powers and their own abilities. So it's a game. It's a narrative game where there's a reason for all this. It's just not a procedurally generated sort of world where you get to goof around. But that is a lot of fun in the game. But there's a purpose. There's more than a purpose. There's a reason for why the cylinder is here, who you are, what's going on in this world.
And there's tons of depth in this game. I mean, there's the exploration. There is even when I was trying it earlier, you have like a stamina system too, where you have to make sure that you're eating and that kind of thing.
Someone was mentioning it in the chat.
Yeah, that gets introduced later in the game. It's a little bit like you get the energy pouch and the stomach, where you have to feed your creatures.
Oh, okay. So to feed your recover stamina.
So if you jump there, you can get that egg.
Lego man.
We can jump up here.
You can just jump up there, and you can grab that egg with the. Now, if you go to where you can see these little behind the other way, you can see that thing there where you can heat the egg if you leave it there.
Oh, so that's
heat the egg. Heat the key. Oh yeah, we saw this in the trailer where like you heat the egg and it hatches out of it.
Okay, there it is. So it's heating the egg, and that would allow you to get another friendly little trap. You can actually name them. I don't know if it's going to work with a controller now, but I think we're going to just leave it at that.
Okay.
He's going to name it me. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Don't let it die. No, let it die.
I look extra confused. That's me.
The confused trouble.
Yeah. Trouble.
So the friendly Trebum, they help you.
Oh wait, now you're the
friendly. It's not only about getting
it's color changed.
allowing your family to grow. It also There's also certain puzzles which have requirements of how many creatures you need in order to unlock the areas. If we want to see more of the content, you can go to the left of this large mountain, and you're going to see one of these giant serpent creatures, which are called the Troala.
Am I going the right way? Oh no.
The other way. The other way.
Yeah. Okay.
To the left of the mountain, and just keep on going. Left of it. Left. Go left.
Oh,
left.
sorry.
No,
Wait,
the other way.
This
No.
way.
That way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm the most annoying.
Yeah, he's going the opposite way on purpose and naming his friends Trebles.
They're on the adventure with me. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
Yikes.
So right beneath this colossal creature, there's a sort of entry to a
colossal creature?
interior, one of what we call the Elder Caves, because there's basically these indoor environments where you can explore more. Here you get more introduction to the story of the game and how aspects about the game. Now you could have. The way you resolved this part of the beginning of the game was getting these 3 specific trebom, but there are other in the outdoor environment which you can get in different ways and see and discover other mutations, and that's the idea, that different people will solve this in different ways.
That's cool. There's a lot of backstory and history.
Wow, this guy's trying to chill himself out on a freaking indie dev stream.
Yeah, one of the games we're most well known
I'm just using it for
is
content.
Xenon Clash,
Yeah,
and a lot of people appreciate the type of surreal worlds that we create, but also the surreal stories that we make for those worlds. So
Eternal
here, for
Sporelander.
you start getting some puzzles. So you have this strange door with a
that's a menu. Is that a meat cube?
Shaped statue, and you're getting introduced
Yeah, organic
to
cube.
strange
Yeah,
ingredient.
for sure.
So it's all
like
part of
the
the puzzle. We have a
the red starch
compendium for creatures, food. At the moment, you don't have the mutation, which allows you to add creatures into your compendium. But you'll notice this area opened up, and if you can go there. One thing you haven't shown that much is throwing water with your trunk. So with the right trigger, you can shoot. You hold.
Yeah,
cool.
shoot your all over.
And they join in. So
that's awesome.
Get that organic.
Another organic
that
piece.
one. Yeah, I think you should eat that one.
Okay.
You should
Just
definitely
because it
eat
came
that
from
one.
an ancient day?
He's slipping down on the stairs. That's one of the.
I thought he was transforming.
No.
There he is.
Nice.
He became
so now you are part of the puzzle.
Perfect being indeed.
You
There's
are now
ascended
part of the puzzle. So
into
you
a cube.
tried to enter that socket before. It wouldn't have opened. So now with the square travel, you can.
They're like species
access
or
to this
shapist.
area, and you find yourself with Romo, the Elder.
Oh my god, it's an elder spore guy.
So the game is, since you're in this kind of alien world, at the beginning we didn't have the narrator in the game. That's something that came later during... This game has been a lot of experimentation. If you look at the original design document, there's the core concept of the game is there, but we started seeing what things worked and what things didn't work through a process of discovery, because it's very different to anything else that we've ever done, or we really can't draw parallels with other titles. So, for instance, the narrator was something that came later on. He's actually part of the story. He's not just there to help players, but he's an actual character. So, yeah, it's a very unique game, and we're really excited about it.
The game is really gorgeous. It's so open. There's so many things to do and expansive. It's very expansive. When are you releasing? Do you have a release date yet?
Is it a
No, we do not have a release date. We have an idea of when we might be able to release, but if I say that some people will get mad.
Yes, totally understand that from experience.
Let's not upset the internet more than we already have.
Yeah, but yeah, it's really awesome. Can you wish list it, and where will you be able to find it?
Yes, it can be wishlisted on the Epic Games Store. We're also launching on PlayStation and Xbox, but I don't think we wishlist there. It will be a simultaneous release, but yeah, we don't know.
Cool. How can we find out more about the Eternal Cylinder?
Oh yeah, I should call out that there's a beta. You just have to register at eternalcylinder.com.
Scheme.
And yeah, and if you want to know more about aceteam.cl, we're at 2mstudios.com, CL, to check more about Eternal Cylinder and other Ace Team games.
Thank you so much for hopping on board, Carlos. It's awesome to see this game. I was so happy that we were able to showcase the trailer the other day, and then actually get to play so people could see exactly what it is, especially since it was blowing up in the chat. And the cylinder did not destroy us today. We're rolling out with the cylinder.
Oh!
I'm also disappointed that it did.
Yeah.
I thought this was one I did well at.
Yeah, there's going to be memes. We're making them. So yeah.
Okay, awesome. Looking forward to them.
All right, thank you so much.
Like, what games are you expecting to see in an?
That was the Eternal Cylinder. The game is gorgeous. You did okay. Thanks for naming me one of the troubles. I appreciate it.
Well,
it was great.
Yeah. This is a really creative game. This is really amazing. There's something in the water in Chile.
Yeah, definitely. It's been an amazing experience. We have one trailer that came from New Blood just in that we want to showcase before we head out.
Blood Studios.
Let's roll the New Blood trailer.
Yeah, I'm sure it just rolled in. They want to end strong with something, I guess. You don't always have to end strong. It's just nice to end sometimes. There's no Bloodborne here, dude. Or Souls. Ooh. Makes me think of blood. Kind of French Gothic feel. Although it's more like with the belt, people who put the belts on their head. What were they called? Something with an L? Like a 16th century thing? Golem.
Inside at last, are you? Welcome.
It's French, eh?
And that was Gloomwood from New Blood. Thank you so much, New Blood, for dropping an exclusive trailer of the Guerrilla Collective. The Guerrilla Collective is now over.
It's what you do with your
It's been an
graphics.
amazing experience. Thanks for hopping on board,
high
Alex.
quality they are.
Oh yeah.
And this amazing space at Wilma
You guys, you could
Sound.
literally high
We
quality
want to
of
thank
bathroom and nothing
all
else.
of our partners
So it
again:
doesn't really
IGN, GameSpot, Valve. I said IGN twice. Kind of funny, of course. ID at Xbox, Astro Razor, everybody who's been working with us, Ryan behind the boards, and Tracy and everyone else. It's been an amazing experience. Now we're going to go back to Greg. Peace.
And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. The Guerrilla Collective is done. Over 3 days, we've shown you nearly 90 games from almost 80 teams.
Really?
Half of the mix. Kind of funny, and every creator who took part in this event, we cannot thank you enough. We hope you all have a fantastic, not E3, I don't know, what are we calling? There's just showcases and events every day now. But for real, from the bottom of our hearts,
90
thank you
games?
so much for your support, and no, until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.
They didn't show 90 games. Oh, has it been sub 2 hours? It's been sub 2 hours. It's kind of short, considering. Not too long though. That's a good thing. So F. That was pretty good. I'm definitely gonna check out some of those games. I might even do some demos. Yeah. So if you'd like to see some of those demos, you can hit me up on the Discord and make some requests and suggestions, or even full purchases and LPs of that I could do. If you're interested, you can hit me up with that on the Discord, here live on the Twitch where we record these videos, or on the YouTube where they are later uploaded, and you can hit me on the comment section there. Maybe even follow, like, and subscribe, and yeah. Until next time, thanks for watching. Keep on dreaming. Poutine, out! Peace.